What's up, everybody on YouTube? This is ONH, and welcome to the next episode of What's It Worth. And I'm going to be reviewing more Alien films leading up to the Alien Romulus review. And today I'm going to be reviewing the next iteration in the franchise, Aliens. So after his breakout hit The Terminator was released, James Cameron kind of earned a name for himself, which earned him the director's chair for the next installment to Alien. So Aliens is set 57 years after the events of the first film. Ripley wakes up out of hypersleep and brought in for a hearing where her story is received with skepticism, which, you know what, that's typical of any job. Trust me, I've been there, and they are all the same. That when you're brought in the office and you're trying to tell the truth and explain your case, they're not interested in the truth. All they're doing is they're just listening for keywords in anything you say so they can pluck your words apart, twist the truth around on you, and use it against you. So, yeah, that's typical of jobs. Okay, enough with bitching about the real world, and let me just get back to reviewing my movie. So after her brutal hearing, Ripley learns from one of the corporates that after she landed on LV-426 50 odd years back on the Nostromo, a colony was built there over time, and there have been people living down there, and they claim that there is no hostile organism. Not long after that, Ripley's approached by Burke, who works for the company, along with a lieutenant for the Colonial Marine Corps, and they tell her that they lost communications with that colony and a squad of Colonial Marines are to be sent to investigate, and she's there as basically as an advisor, or she's invited as an advisor. So after Ripley reluctantly agrees to go along with the mission, they descend down to the planet, and when they search the colony, it is a disaster and there is no signs of life except for the familiar creatures known as facehuggers, which two of them are alive and the rest are dead, and there's one human survivor, a little girl named Newt. And then when they eventually find out where the rest of the colonists are, and they descend down to the sub-levels of an atmosphere processor station, Ripley's worst fears comes true when they realize they're up against not one, but a whole swarm of xenomorphs. And when they try to escape, the aliens made sure that their numbers have been dwindled down to nothing. And, of course, their dropship crash lands into the station, which means they're trapped. So the Marines have to outlast 17 days until the next ship comes to find them, if they're overdue. Which, one thing amounts to another, which then leads to Ripley's confrontation with the mother of all aliens, the Queen. This is how a sequel should always be. James Cameron literally raised the bar for the franchise. He took what was established in Alien and he made it 1,000 times better with the best visual effects, best creature design, the best puppetry done by special effects wizard Stan Winston, who won multiple Academy Awards for the creation of the Alien Queen, plus the visual effects. And of course, Sigourney Weaver was nominated Academy Award for her return as Ripley, which was more intense in this film than the first film. Now, what James Cameron did was he basically flipped the genre from a sci-fi horror to a sci-fi action horror film. And this film, it's got its intense moments because I remember watching this and I was so freaked out by it, but it's a really kick-ass sequel. Plus, this film establishes that even though you are armed to the teeth with the most powerful weaponry that money can buy, it will not save you from the aliens, especially if you're dealing with them in numbers. And the design of the Queen in this film was absolutely amazing. And Jim Cameron's technique of camera scheming is another best element of this film. Like, there are times where you think you're seeing a full-size Queen with Ripley and Newt in the shot, and it turns out not always. The Queen is usually just a 6-foot puppet, basically. But when there's the boxing match scene, that's miniatures, and it's just, and then you see the Queen full body in action, and it's just how they pulled it off in this film was amazing. And the characters, absolutely colorful. You got Michael Biehn as Hicks, Lance Henriksen as Bishop, Bill Paxton as Hudson. You got John Connor's stepmom from Terminator 2 as Vasquez. I mean, this film has just got a slew of the most memorable characters ever. And when they did the director's cut, they even introduced elements that you're like, why do they cut this? This makes the movie so much better. And it does. It's like the director's cut establishes Amanda Ripley in the storyline. And then you see the space jockey ship in the director's cut. I mean, this is like one of the best sci-fi films of all time, that there's just not enough words to just describe how awesome this movie really is. And from the director of the Terminator, this guy's got to give himself a pat on the back, because what he did with Alien was amazing. I mean, even Ridley Scott was like, damn. So, where do I rank Aliens? Full price, right off the bat. Full price, because this is the perfect example of how a sequel to a movie should be, not how sequels normally turn out to be. Okay, so I've given you my review of Aliens, and I'm going to be moving on to the next episode, Alien 3. So, stay tuned. Please hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments. I'm Owen H. Have a nice day.